guys, I'm Sage Valentine, and this is my review of episode 8 of Scream Queens. So, what did I think about this episode? Honestly, that whole Mortal Kombat scene between the three killers, i.e. the Antonin Scalia killer and the two Red Devils and the Dean, was epic, and that was so awesome that she kicked their behinds to the points whereas they were just like, okay, we're not gonna mess with this chick, we're out of here. And I enjoyed the opening and the nod to Psycho and the fact that the writers wrote in that Jamie Lee had seen it 50 times. For those of you that don't know, Jamie Lee's mother's name is Janet Lee. And Janet Lee was literally Norman Bates's first victim in Psycho. And I'm sure some of you guys are like, Psycho? What about Psycho? If you watch Bates Motel, pretty much that Norman is Psycho's Norman. Like, Psycho's Norman is like adult Norman. That one is more like teenage, young adult Norman. And of course his mom is dead in Psycho, of course. But anyways, to make a long story short, like, that scene was everything because Jamie Lee, her mom was the original Scream Queen, and then she became a Scream Queen because she starred as Laurie Strode in Halloween, one of my favorite horror movies, slasher flicks. I love Halloween. Michael Myers is too funny. But anyway, let's chat about Grace. Now, Grace learns during this episode that her mother was literally the chick in the blue taffeta dress at the Kappa Kappa Tau party in 95 that we witnessed basically in episode 1. And that her mother and father basically met at said party and they fooled around, and I guess they stayed together and fooled around again, and that's how Grace came into the picture. But also we learned that her mother knew Gigi and so did her father. So all of that is kind of weird to Grace. It's kind of weird to me too because Grace's father is a little bit weird. Now, is he one of the Red Devil killers? I don't know, because at this point I have no idea. But that dude is very, very weird. We're not even going to get into Gigi yet. We're going to get to her later in this video. But Grace needed to know this information, and when she found out, it was hard to swallow. But at least she realizes that there are now, she and Pete, that there are two babies, two of them, a boy and a girl, that Gigi took away. Because I'm assuming that Gigi was the chick that was standing outside of the bathtub when the other girl that gave birth was dead, and she was holding one baby, but maybe I guess the other baby was laying down or something, or in the tub, or was that somebody else's baby? Like, I'm not even sure at this point. Like, I'm questioning myself after watching this episode, because I'm like, wait a minute, am I paying attention? Do I need to go watch the first 7 episodes again? But also, Grace also learns that Picasso, meaning the painter chick from the psychiatric ward, she met Gigi. And Gigi came more than once and brought those babies. But the question right now is, who are these babies? Because we know after watching this episode that Boone could quite possibly be one of them, and he's obviously the male, but who is the female? There are so many possibilities, and a lot of people are online saying that it could be Zayday. I don't think so. I really don't think so. Like, I've heard of twins being born and coming out resembling different ethnicities, but I really don't believe it's Zayday. I still believe it's somebody that we are not even looking at this point. For all we know, it could probably end up being, say, Chanel herself. Like, maybe she was adopted and split up from her twin brother. Either way, at this point, we have a few episodes before we even find out who the killer is. But as far as the rest of this episode goes, like, in terms of Grace, like, now Grace doesn't know who to trust. Grace is questioning her father because her father kept this information from her. Not about the twins, but just about her mom, which I understand he wanted to protect her. But the thing is that now she's wondering, well, what else has he not told me? And maybe I could be the killer, because maybe she could be the killer. She has some type of like weird psychosis, whereas she blacks out, and when she comes to, she has no idea. Then again, maybe one of the killers could be going through that. I don't know, because every time I watch this show, I always end up questioning what I just saw. And I know for a fact that Boone, as I just said, was one of them. But the second killer, I don't know. Now, we learned during this episode that the Antonin Scalia killer was Gigi. And Gigi's a little bit off her rocker, and God knows what she's going to do next. And I saw the preview for next week's episode. So clearly, Gigi is in trouble because the killers are going to turn on her, especially after what Boone said at the end of the episode. But you can't say that the dean didn't try to warn Grace, because she told her, like, sometimes it's not really good to start rummaging through your life because you're going to get dirty. And yeah, Grace learned about her mother, but what else is there to learn? Like, how dark is her father? Because we really don't know anything at all about... Her father's name is Will Gardner, or is it West Gardner? I'm not sure, because it seemed like at one point they were calling him Will. I guess he must have changed his name to Weston or something weird like that. Poor Candle Girl. Poor baby. So clearly in this show, they were adamant about killing off all of the secondary characters before they killed off the primary characters. So the last person to get slashed was Candle Girl, and some people figured, oh, it's probably Zayday, because Zayday completely, you know, shaded her and Denise when they were talking about her, because Denise remains adamant that Zayday is the killer. I still don't think so. But then again, I'm not sure who it is besides Boone. But other than that, poor Candle Girl got killed while she was filming her YouTube video, and then was turned into a candle. And then they had a, what do they call it? They had like a memorial to her with candles. I'm just like, poor baby. Like, I'm really gonna miss her and her craziness, honestly. The Chanels are adamant about trying to frame Zayday and Grace. Meanwhile, one of them could quite possibly be the killer. As I said, it could be Chanel, could be Chanel number 3, it could be Hester, Chanel number 6, it could be Chanel number 5. Considering that during this episode we learned that not only is her name Libby Putney, but she's on like the dark web looking for people to either help her kill Chanel or trying to find ways to kill Chanel. But Chanel's not paying attention to that. But then again, Chanel can't see that Chad is just not that into her at all. That's why I always say in these reviews, I feel so sorry for Chanel. She's trying so hard to get Chad to love her, and Chad's just not feeling her at all. On second thought, he is feeling her as far as sleeping with her, and he likes her money, but as far as having a long-term relationship with her, nah, she's just something to do. And if he does marry her, he's going to continue to sleep around on her. And last but not least, I'm going to quickly talk about Gigi. First of all, Gigi is suspect. No one checked her references when she appeared, and now that Grace found out that she padded her resume, she is now officially moving all the way up on that kill list that Gigi has, that revenge kill list that she has with the other, I guess, the twins, Boone and whoever else is killing. As well as the fact that now that she knows, Grace knows about Gigi, Gigi wants Grace committed. And Grace's father is not paying attention to what's going on. He's not questioning what Gigi is saying because he hasn't dated in a very long time. He's getting some, and his mind is all messed up. On top of the fact that he's pretty suspect himself. Like, what is this dude hiding? Also, FYI, the dean's not just going to show people's records just out of the blue. And if Grace was getting a 1.4 GPA, you can bet your bottom dollar she would not be in college. But see, she probably would have been on academic probation and probably would have been kicked out. Because in my school, if you slipped below a 2.5, it was curtains for you in your college career. But Grace's father's not listening. He's not paying attention at all. And like I said, I can't wait until tonight's episode, because not only are we going to lose one of our favorites, one of the main characters that we've come to know and love, but hopefully we learn more about Grace's dad, because there's some info he is definitely keeping from us. On top of the fact that the two killers, Boone and whomever, and I'm sure there's probably another killer besides that, because now that we know that Antonin Scalia, the masked person, was obviously Gigi, I still think there's another one besides that. But those killers now want Gigi's head, and seeing Boone at the end of the episode in that disguise was awesome, and I cannot wait until everybody sees that he's alive. But you guys take care. Thank you so much for tuning in. Check the links below. Don't forget to rate this video, leave your comments, and let me know what you thought about this episode in the season so far, and hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to my brand of crazy, and I'll see you guys later when I do tonight's review for episode number 9. Love you guys. Bye, guys. Bye.